Oh, my friends, I did an order, and this is what I got. Now, there is an unboxing video and a short going to go live later, but if you join me tonight on my live stream, you get to see previews. It's how I've always done it. When I go live, I do a preview. Now, I took this and cleaned it up because it was a little dirty. If you're selling something like this on eBay, you probably should clean it before you sell it. Now, I'm going to make a little room and just kind of set this down right here. Now you can kind of see the green color versus this, which is olive green. It's not nearly as bright. I've heard this referred to as emerald green too. But anyway, one of my new subscribers, Littlefoot, wanted to see what's in my tubes. Now, I have shown all the ones in this recently, so there's really nothing here that he probably hasn't seen. We'll go through it sort of quick. 1922 has a hole, a little bit ugly. This one's a 1923. It's also a little bit ugly. The back's not so bad, but that dark staining on the front's not that nice. This is a 22. It's not worn very much. It has a little hole drilled in it. Bought for under melt, actually. This one has a bigger hole. Same deal, bought for melt. And when you're using a loop like this, you have to get close to the camera and the coin. Alright, this one's been polished. It's another 23. No mint mark. There is a Morgan here. It's got a bit of a gash and then a hole. Like someone tried to start here and it slipped. 1921 Denver. No, wait. Is that San Francisco? Actually, that is San Francisco, I believe. Now, had this one had a mint mark, it would have been right about where the hole is. So it's another 1921 with a hole, and looks like a little wear on the hole, like someone carried it on some kind of chain that's harder than what the silver is. And this one, it's another 1921 with a real small hole in it. And I believe that is a Denver one. So that's the 8 that's in this particular tube. Well, evil one of the users, it's these are worth about their melt value because they're damaged. That's about what I paid for all of them, except for the one piece dollar that doesn't have a hole in it. Now, this is the other tube I think he wanted to see. In a gold 1903 penny. I don't know what you mean by that. Pennies aren't made out of gold. Now, there's $24 in this particular tube, so I overfilled it. And we'll just kind of go through and look at them. A lot of these are beat up and worn. I got some of these for as little as $18 or $19 recently, like last year. This is an 1883. I don't think there's a mint mark on this one. Don't look like it. Beat up kind of bad. The rim has damage. This one's an 1881. Almost look like there might be a mint mark there, but I don't think there is. It's just dirt. There are peace dollars in this. This one's worn down pretty far. It's kind of hard to make out the date at all. I know it's 20 something, but I can't tell you what year it is. This one I think I ended up getting for about $22 because it's got a really big hole in it and it's pretty much totally gone in terms of the date. I can tell it's a 7, might be an 8 or a 9 because that's the only two options there were for Morgan dollars in the 1870s. Alright, this is 1934. Too bad it's not a mint state coin because that's an S mint. If it's mint state, it'd be worth a lot more than handling it like that. This is 1889, toned with rim damage. And both sides. Not exactly sure how they did it. I think it had something to do with a vise, maybe. And if there was a mint mark there, there's a scratch on it right there where the mint mark would be. But I'm inclined to think it's not a mint mark. It's just a scratch. This one, another Morgan dollar with a hole in it. Partial mint mark. It's 1878. So it's San Francisco, I believe. This is 1879. Maybe if I compare it to this one, I'll be able to make out and tell which date is which. Because this has enough left at the top to tell that's a 9 and not an 8. I'm getting an 1878, I'm thinking. So let's compare it to this one. Because it looks like as the light hits it, it looks like there's a second little bump there, like the 1878 has. So I think this might be an 1878. But it's pretty close to being one that you'll never be able to tell the date again because it's practically worn out. Polished and with a hole. And when I say polished, I don't mean just a little bit. They rounded off the eagle's wings there. You can tell that on one of these that isn't worn so much. They drop off almost straight down off of the tip of the feather. This one doesn't do that. So that's a lot of polishing on that one. Another 1921 with a hole right where the mint mark would be. Although it's off of it just enough to tell me this is likely Philadelphia. Another one with a hole. My coin dealer had a whole bunch of these. This one's been polished too. It's an 1888. There are some more peace dollars. This one doesn't have a hole, but a lot of excessive wear. That's a 1922 with a lot of wear. There is a mint mark on it. And it is, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, it's a San Francisco mint. All right, another 23 with a hole in it. My one coin, that's a Denver one. My coin dealer found about 15 of these with holes in them and priced them right at melt or a little below. This one has roses hammered into it, and it's bent slightly because of that. But it's a melt value coin now. This kind of stuff, you're not going to get a price for an ugly Morgan dollar like this. So this I would value right at whatever it weighs in grams by how much 90% silver is when you're buying or selling one. And that's about what I would ask. Very worn out, very flat. Another Morgan dollar, it's very worn out. These I got from my other one of my coin dealers. Because this one, the date has been ground off. I believe it's a 1921 one though. And the story about that was in Reno they had coin op slot machines that used dollar coins, and trying to prevent people from walking off with all the old dollars, they ground off the date. At least that's the story I heard. 1887 Orleans, very worn. But no, I bought a few of these beat up Morgan dollars and a couple piece dollars for about $19 a piece from my one coin dealer. At the time, the melt on them was over that by a decent amount. He sold them under melt just because they're problem coins, and he was thinking it'd be hard to sell. This is another 1934. And for a coin, they only made 1 million of them. That's an estimate. And I've got 3 of them in cards, a loose one that's not holding, and a couple that's got holes in them. So I've got several. I do mean several of those. Well, the reason why they have holes in them is someone was going to sell these with a chain as a pendant in case someone wanted a necklace with a silver dollar. There are people that like that. It used to be a lot of people like that. Now, getting to the last one in this tube, never seen one that was pocket carried before. It's silver, 1986 Statue of Liberty. And I've never seen one of them get pocket carried. Now, someone just asked, yes, 200 extra fine Morgans, do they have any value? Well, you have to take your red book and look up the years and see how common they are. Because certain years, dates, mints, are much lower mintage than others. So we'll just pull up Morgan dollars real quick and I'll show you what I mean on my red book. Swing this down, you can see the 8 tail feathers version, $75. That good, very fine 20, I mean. And then the other ones, that's where they're going from. Very fine on this. You can see that one, the Carson City, very fine 20 is 120, whereas the 1878S is 45 because there's more than 4 times as many were made. And you go down here, this is a few years old, but the mintages aren't going to change, and the price might change a little. You can see a lot of them are showing $35 at very fine. Extra fine, they're only a little more. It's only when you get to the ones that are really low mintage, like that Carson City one there, you can see that very fine 20 is a $400 coin, and it goes up quite a bit. But we'll flip the page because I want to show you this one. 1884S, fairly common, 3.2 million were made. Very fine 20 says $40. Oh, it's not bad. I mean, you have 200 of them and they're all worth at least 40 to $50 range. That's quite a bit of money. Alright, you go across in the 1884S. You notice over here, Mint State 65 says $235,000. That would be graded. That'd be graded coin by PCGS or NGC. The reason why is because in 1884, the Mint didn't save any bags. They put all of them out to circulation. So very few are at Mint State 65, or even any Mint State for that matter. That 1886 Orleans, lot made, 10 million, lot melted maybe. You go over to it says 185 at Mint State 65. Not an easy grade to get. Very expensive coin. And then that one says 325,000, 1889 Carson City. 350,000 minted. That's a pretty low number, and not very many of them are exist anymore. I saw something that gave online that gave how much they think exist of each particular Carson City Mint coin. That one, 1892 San Francisco. A little bit lower mintage. That says $190,000 for Mint State 65. So, yeah, I do coin roll hunt some. Other key dates that in high Mint State that'd be worth a lot. 1893 Orleans or San Francisco. Way up there, especially San Francisco. 100,000 minted. Yeah. Well, they do make card mounts. You could buy some from a coin dealer. $1 card mounts. Put them in the cards and then put them in date and by mint, and then look them up in a red book or look them up online because you can find prices on that too. Going to the last few on this. If you get lucky enough to find the double die reverse 1901, it's pretty expensive at low grade. Here, I'll show you. It's that one right there, double die reverse, 4,500, and that is Mint State 60. The part above it says 813. That's for proof like. 6 million were made. But you get out there where it's Mint State 65, and that says 475,000. Most of them must have been melted. That's all I can say for that. But yeah, a red book like this. I just saw an ad from a place called Ollie's, which they had. This is 2018. They had 2024 U.S. coin books listed at $5, $4.99. So you don't have to buy a brand new one because all the mintages on this is still the same as what it is today. The only thing that might be a little different is value. Like say they found a few Mint State coins of certain ones that there weren't that many, around then when they published it in 2018. They found a mint bag, in a vault somewhere that has 1,000 Morgans in it, and none of them been circulated. And if they're all the same year, that adds a lot of Morgan dollars at Mint State, which will, if it's a valuable one, will knock the value down quite a bit. So these $24 coins in this coin glass ashtray are all worn and at recent prices. They vary a little bit because of the wear and the size of the holes. But at recent prices, this stuff was worth about $24 a coin, roughly, because they're worn, they're lighter than the melt that you see on the coin calculators. But even with it, $24 a coin, and there's 24 of them in this particular tube. Once I get them all back in, and when they're worn like this, I have no real worries about giving a few more scratches on them. They're never going to be worth anything other than being a melt coin. Another person asked, well, jack-o'-lantern, the reason why they're hold is because some people used to wear these like necklaces. You know, get a sterling silver chain and wear a silver dollar on a necklace as a pendant. But yeah, that 86 is a proof coin that someone pocket carried a long time, because San Francisco one is proof. They made about 6 or 7 million of this particular coin. I have several of them, like 3 or 4 probably, that weren't circulated. They're in either a capsule or a card mount. But 24 of these at about $24 a piece, give or take. I'm holding a pretty hefty amount of silver in this, and for, you know, just for the weight value of it, it's quite a bit. And then there's 8 in this one. I'm going to get a few more of these that are hold. My coin dealer that sold me these, he had found about 15 of them, I think, give or take. And he's like, they just don't sell very, and they're problem coins because they got damage. So when I go to sell them, if I do, I'm going to price them right around whatever melt is when I sell them. It'll basically be breaking even. But yes, this coin glass ashtray, it's the light green, the emerald green. I've also heard people call it Kelly green. But I ordered this because where I live, I've several vendor people have coin glass. I've only seen the Kelly green ashtray one other time, and I didn't buy it then because it was worn a lot worse than what this one is. This one's got a couple chips up here on the edge, not sharp, and it has a few scratches in there, as you can see. But I like this coin glass stuff, and I don't know if I'm going to buy any more though, because I got what I wanted, one each of each color. And really, you must know, as you can see, the clear and the olive green Bing and Bing, and then there's like a ruby red, which I don't have one handy. There's an amber, the Kelly green, and the neon blue. And the neon blue is my favorite color, and this thing is glowing in the light. If you have it backlit, it's really spectacular. So that is my favorite color of the coin glass. The red, this blue, and that Kelly green are on the collectible side. The olive green, well, they're all collectible to a degree, but the olive green, the clear, and the amber color one are not as valuable. So if you go to a coin glass, you know, like an antique dealer, and he's got a bunch of coin glass, and you see, say, the olive green ashtray like this, It's probably will be priced half of what this is, unless he doesn't know what he has and he just thinks it's a piece of glass and it's nothing special, and he throws a $2 or $3 price on it. Someone throws $2 or $3 price on an ashtray like this. If I go to an antique shop and see one, I'm getting another one, just because this thing cost me about $20 when I bought it. Uh, but there is one that's even bigger than this I have, but it's not handy. It's kind of put away. But the difference between it is it has an island in the middle that rises up and then like a moat all the way around it. And it's 10 inches across. This is about a little under 8. So it's a big tray, but that other one's a lot bigger. But the blue is really my favorite color. But I wanted the emerald green as well. And for all the people who watch this, you'll get to see it before my video about it, unboxing it and showing it goes live. But I mean, pretty much that's what I wanted to cover. Two things. By the way, here's the amber. This is what they call a nappy dish, and it's a little dirty, dusty, but it's a nice color, but it's not as collectible. And for those, I've already showed off all the other colors. Might as well show off the one red one I have. It's also a little nappy dish. It's a brilliant red, ruby type color. And I like this a lot. Red, the blue, and that Kelly green are the more collectible colors of the bunch. But if you can get lucky, you might be able to find some cheaper. All you have to do is go to one of them little antique stores that's got several booths, and there might be someone who has a few of them. So I'm going to put the red stone back where it was, over here, and move the black stone over a little bit. By the way, this black stone is so dark that you cannot see through even a little bit of it. So we'll put it back over there where it was. But the red's nice though. I know someone at an antique shop thing who's got one of these in the ruby red. Well, this cost me $8 or $9, both of these. That ruby red one, he was asking $30. So that gives you an idea of how collectible the ruby red is versus the green and clear, the dark green, I mean. By the way, if you can't tell the green so well of the olive green, this is an olive green coin glass nappy dish. I mean, I have one each of all the nappy dishes except the red. I know where I could get a red one, but no, it's not the red, it's the Kelly Emerald Green. I have a red one, I just showed it. Got lost in my thought. Anyway, this is like a little candy dish. I don't know why they call it a nappy dish, but that's what everybody that sells them calls them. So anyway, no one has any objections. It's kind of late, and I have to do something. But I'll leave you with this sound. Some of you will know what it is, some of you won't. For those of you who know what it is, you already know. Those who don't, that's a classic Zippo. And this one, by the label on it, the way it's shaped, tells me this is a 50s up to about 1970 range, because I looked them up. It's been used a lot, scratched and everything, but it is kind of cool, and that sound is very distinctive. Back when I was a kid, most adults had these, and then they started coming up with all them disposable lighters. These went out of use. Problem is, this, you can use it your whole life. The disposable ones, you'd use it depending on how often you use it, a few months maybe, and then you have to get another one. This, all you have to do is refill the reservoir with the lighter fluid, and if it and it works. If I had lighter fluid in this, that spark tells me if there's lighter fluid, this would light, and you can kind of see the wick, a little burnt, but not too bad. So this one got used, but you can replace the flint. I think you can replace everything about this if you had to. Henceforth, when you bought one of these, hello Kane's coins, you bought one of these, you bought something for your life. Okay, Kane coins, while you're here, real quick, I'm going to have an unboxing video, because I ordered something that around here I can't find. So I ordered off eBay. And this is emerald green coin ashtray, or coin glass ashtray. It's about 8 inches across. It's pretty spectacular looking. Has a colonial soldier, a torch with a star, the eagle, and it says 1887, and then a Liberty Bell. This, I've only seen this collar here in town once. They had an ashtray just like this one, but it had a lot more scratches on it than this one did. And I didn't buy it. Probably should have when I saw it though, because sometimes that's how this stuff works. If you're looking for it and you see it, you should buy it, because it may not be there next time, and it may be a long time before you see another one. So that's why I always say about collectible type stuff like this. They only made so much, and who knows how much of this stuff has been recycled, because people will buy the glass. Say like you dropped one and it shattered, they'll buy it because it's uranium style glass, and they made this stuff in the 30s and 40s, I believe, all the way up into the 60s maybe. And then they started making some that are similar but a little different. And then there are reproduction ones that they're making even more recently. If it's reproduction, the coins won't be frosted. That's how you tell. And just to show you what a reproduction one looks like, because I did buy one just for this purpose. No frosting on the coin part. This one does have a crack too, but it doesn't affect the function too much. It has the torch and then the eagle. The eagle goes back to back here because there's 7 coins on it. I think it is. Yeah, 7 coins, so you don't have an even number, and they only put 2 different ones on this one. It's heavy glass, very thick. So how this got cracked probably got dropped onto a hard surface. I think that was $4 when I bought it at one of the antique vendor shops. But had it been not cracked, and been an actual one, it probably would have been twice that, because that's about what they go for. But I'm hoping everyone's having a good night. I've had a pretty good time. I showed people what's in these tubes that I've been getting for melt, these silver dollars for melt. And like I said, you don't see one of these that's been pocket carried very often. In fact, this is the only one I've ever seen. But I've heard people say they've seen them like this before too. Jeff Crumpler, he said he's seen some, but I've never seen one, and I've got several of them that aren't circulated. But this is just weight coins, worth their weight in grams. That's how I'm going to sell them when I sell them, by their gram content. So silver doubles in a couple years, and I decide to sell these, I won't feel too bad about parting with most of these. There's nothing real collectible about them, and could raise up a bunch of cash if I need it. Other than that, this is never going to be worth a whole lot. Now, granted, I go on something like Whatnot and put this up for an auction, and someone's like, I've never seen one like that. I want that bad. They might bid up a bit more than they should to get it, just because this is probably as rare as any of these Morgan and Peace dollars are, because most of them are not pocket carried. That's pretty much what I have for the night. I'm hoping that everyone's having a good time. I might get a couple more of these hold up dollar coins, because my coin dealer still has about 4 or 5 of them. He's willing to sell them cheap. In fact, he's even knocked money off the price he was asking when I bought 2 of them once, because I was digging out my cash. It was 2 of them, $24. I put 2 20s down, put out a 5, and then I was looking, and I didn't have any ones, and he said, no, it's okay, 45 is good enough. So I got because I buy from him virtually 2 or 3 times a month, so he doesn't mind giving me a bargain once in a while. But that's pretty much what I have. I'm hoping everyone has a good night, because I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. And thank everyone for stopping by. We will see you next time.